Alright, we are looking at infinite limits. And we've got f of x is equal to 1 over x squared minus 9. And what we're going to be doing here is we're going to find the limit as x approaches 3 of 1 over x squared minus 9. Well, what I'm going to do here is I'm going to take the 3, plug it into the our function here. It's called doing direct substitution, 1 over 0. And that's not good. So that tells me that there's it's undefined there at 0. Now I've kind of looked at it differently in the previous problems, but we always want to look at this stuff at different angles. So what I do is I'm going to factor the denominator here into x minus 3 and x plus 3. So we're factoring that guy, and as you can see here, if I plug 3 into this one, this is where the 0 is coming from. It's coming from this guy right here, the 0 is. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come in from the left-hand side, come in from the right-hand side, and see what the behavior of the graph is doing. So if we come in from the left-hand side of 3, we're going to be using 2.9. So if I take 2.9 and I plug it into the function, I end up getting negative 1.69. Now you notice these little wavy lines right here. This means approximately. So I've rounded to 2 decimal places. That's what I normally do, around 2 decimal places. Well, it's negative. That kind of tells me that this thing's going to negative infinity, but let's get a little bit closer to 3. So plug 2.99 in. You get negative 16.69. Then I'm going to plug in 2.999, and as you can see, this number here is getting larger even though it's a negative. But so we end up getting negative 166.69. So this is a good indication that this function, as I get closer and closer to 3 coming in from the left, that this is going to negative infinity. Alright, let's look at it coming in from the right hand side. So I plug 3.1 in. I get it's approximately 1.64, so it's a positive number, so that's an indication it's probably going positive infinity. I get closer to 3 coming in from the right, plugging in 3.01, I get a positive 16, and then 0.001, I get approximately 166.64. So I'm going to be betting that this thing is going to positive infinity coming in from the right hand side. And then coming in from the left-hand side, the graph is going to negative infinity. Let's take, I think I have a graph of this. But first, I actually just kind of write it out here. So negative infinity, right, or coming in from the left at 3, it's going to negative infinity. Coming in from the right at 3, it's going to positive infinity. And here's a lovely graph to look at. Now remember, there was a 3 and a negative 3, okay? That made it undefined, and we were just looking at the positive 3. You could go through and do it numerically if you want on your own and look at the negative 3, but we were just focused in on the positive 3 here. So coming in from the left, you can kind of see what the graph's doing, right? It's decreasing, okay? And coming in from the right hand side, you can see what the graph is doing. It's increasing without bound, they say, decreasing without bound. So anyway. Alright, graphs are always worth 1,000 words. But that's what they say anyway. Or no, I think they say a picture's worth 1,000 words. I don't know, something like that. Alright, well, let's move on and look at another example.